Thank you and good afternoon. It's nice to be the last speaker and still have an audience. Typically at this time of the day we're kind of a bit depleted, so big thanks to Matt and James for putting on the event. I think it's really well organised and structured, and thanks to you all for coming today. As James said, I work with AdColony, and I'm going to talk today about a few bits, probably hopefully at a slightly higher level than some of the talks today. There's been lots of talks about tactics and technical implementations and attribution and tracking, but obviously marketing is nothing new. App promotion is a new area of kind of marketing, but promoting a product to a consumer is not. It's been around for a number of years. And there's a whole discussion right now about math men and mad men and the role of creative. So I want to give a few kind of overarching thoughts really and try and tie some of that together, talk about where we come from at AdColony with our video promotion and video product, but hopefully give some ideas about how that kind of manifests itself into a slightly broader marketing strategy and where some of the big guys are achieving great success right now in their app promotion. So without further ado, a little bit about us. Is that chopped off slide? Don't worry. The most important bit's kind of completely chopped off. But I'm Jim Amir for AdColony. We're a leading HD video network, and that's all we do is provide in-app video in high definition directly to publishers via our own SDK. We did announce a couple of weeks ago we're going to be acquired by Opera Software, and that's a strategic tie-up and a strategic acquisition for them and for us. It means we have a combined network of over 700 million unique users across the globe. It will help us to work together to really push video out to more publishers and more advertisers. So we're very excited about that and looking forward to working that through over the next few months. Can we get this reformatted at all? Or there we go, perfect. So this is the obligatory stats section, just to show obviously that this was the first year that the mobile app consumption surpassed that of desktop. I know there's lots of stats flying around, but this was quite a significant one that I picked up on. And mobile video ads are growing the fastest of all areas of media right now. I want to talk a little bit about why that is and how that kind of manifests itself and how we use that in terms of the promotion and campaigns that we run. And then lastly, this slide, where the heat is. The Billboard is a US sort of website. It was historically a publication, and it was essentially the charts for the US. So every week it would showcase who the latest bands were, who was top of the charts, who was selling the most singles and the most records. And it was the must read on a Friday afternoon for guys in the US. And you can see there you've got a type of Pepsi and Michael Jackson on an LP. That was an old kind of vinyl record, right? And that's because the brand wanted to be where the consumers were. The consumers were listening to music around LPs. They were listening to what was happening. They were reading the Billboard newspaper. And that was their fix, I guess, of current affairs and that tie-up with kind of brands and popular kind of culture. And on the right, you've got the top App Store chart from May 2014, and that's where the consumers are now, and that's where the eyeballs are now. And so marketers and brands and app developers need to find a way to move to where that audience is and to connect with them through kind of rich and engaging formats. So that's a bit of a scene setter. This for me is where I kind of really want to spend a bit of time. And this is kind of looking at what do marketers want. So I think I said at the outset that marketing's not new. It's been around for a whole number of years, and it's been kind of developed over time, right? But the key thing is that whether you're trying to promote an application or sell a car or get someone to buy your holiday, the real basic fundamentals of that just don't change. You're a brand, or you're an app developer or a game developer. You want to take your message to a consumer, to a customer, and get them to take some kind of change in behavior, some kind of positive step. And at its most purest and its most simple kind of level, that's what any marketing is. Whether you're trying to promote an app, whether you're trying to sell a car, whether you're trying to get someone to buy a holiday or register for a daily deal site, that really is what marketing is all about. And I think it's sometimes a bit easy to get too tactical and get drawn in too deep into app marketing, start to talk about, the attribution and the SDK, when we haven't really thought about what is it we're trying to achieve, what does success look like, who is our customer, what's our customer doing. So I'm going to drill into each of those three areas just quickly and then show a couple of video examples at the end. A little bit unrehearsed there. So the point is, why do marketers want to do this? Well, if you think about brands aren't new, but when you go into a supermarket to buy a chocolate bar, you've got a preconceived idea of what chocolate bar you're going to buy, right? So this is from China, and the lady's chosen M&Ms. The second row is full of Snickers. the third is Galaxy, and the fourth is the Dime Bar. Why did she choose that M&M's? Why did she go to M&M's? Why didn't she go to Snickers or to the Dime Bar? It's because she had some preconceived awareness of that product. She knew what it tasted like. She'd bought it before. And so when she went in, had a whole plethora of choice of products to purchase, she chose that one. And for me, if you look at the App Store, it's like a chocolate counter, right? You go in there, you've got millions and millions of apps in that App Store. Well, 1.1, so just over 1 million apps in the App Store. And which one are you going to choose? Which one are you going to decide to kind of install? And you look at the success of people like Rovio or King or Supercell. I get it, they have huge budgets, but you have a preconceived concept of, I want the title Candy Crush, or I want Clash of Clans. And that's exactly what happened with Flappy Birds when that came out as well. People knew what they were getting. They had that concept, and they could go and say, yeah, I want that app. I want that to work for me. So I think it's really a consideration around how do you build a brand around your title or your game or your product. How do you push that out through mobile marketing or other channels to kind of create that awareness and that preconceived purchase intent? So to do that, you've got to think about who's the consumer. You know, what is that individual, that person that's going to download your app or is going to play your game or going to purchase your product? And what are they doing on their mobile? Are they playing games? Are they in social media? Are they purely just looking at news or weather in a time-restricted environment? And then why are they doing that? Why are they using that app? And we talk about need states versus want states. So if you're in a need state and you're playing a game, you maybe got 12, 15 minutes of time, you're a bit more relaxed, you're trying to entertain yourself, versus going into maybe a weather app just to find out if it's going to be raining, or going into a traffic report out to find out if the road's blocked or if there's going to be a diversion or whatever it might be. So there's different times and different experiences to serve different ads. So really think about that consumer. Who are they? What are they doing? And why would they want to engage with your product? The next thing is messaging. So really think about how do you stimulate the senses, right? You look at the biggest brands in the world, Diet Coke from Coca-Cola. They have half-naked men mowing the lawn and girls chucking their Diet Coke at him, and the shirt comes off and off they go. They're not selling Diet Coke, they're selling a lifestyle, they're selling a feeling, a perception of what that product is all about. Same as Audi when they sell cars. They talk a bit about the technicalities, but you've got a car cruising down an open road, the sun's shining, the roof's down. It's all about that lifestyle and that perception and that good feeling, the same as holidays and everything else. So really do think about that message. How do you deliver it as impactfully as possible? And then specifically when it comes to app promotion and promoting apps, we see from our campaigns is that those that showcase the product or the service offering do get the better responses and the better results. And if you compare, typically where you get from video ads is that when the user installs that app and they open it for the first time, they've already seen what the product is. They've already seen some of that gameplay. They've already seen a few features of that app or that product or service. So they've downloaded it with an expectation of what you're going to deliver, what that product is going to offer them. Whereas if you click on a banner or you come from an interstitial or whatever it might be, it's a pretty, I wouldn't say dumb, but it's a pretty limited experience to sell and showcase that product. So you open it, you find out what that app's going to offer you. And so that's where the storytelling of video and the storytelling of mobile really comes into its own. And then you want to influence a change in behavior. So you want to influence some positive action. This is an example of what we call our end card. So after we serve a video, we serve a full screen HTML5 overlay. So these ones look at things like swiping away for Coca-Cola or sharing with Facebook. But that could equally be to install the app or to install the app. So you want to be able to give them that opportunity to watch the video, create some emotion, create some awareness, and then push them through to install the application. And I think, we've got some examples here. So this is just about 2 minutes of our show reel that just shows some of the videos we've produced and some of the video end cards we've done with that interactivity. But I think, me talking is great for me, not necessarily for you. And I think when Peggy wanted to showcase the example of Amazon, she showed a video. So it was the best way to explain what that was all about. So these hopefully give a good example of how to use video to showcase a product, showcase a service, or showcase an app.
Feeling real good, came a long way from misunderstood. Far away from the days where I wouldn't wanna go home. cause I was afraid of the truth. See, I was scared to admit the feeling was in the back of my head. Cause the point where line no longer works, so you have to stand up for how you wanna live. Tonight is the night, is the night that we're losing control. Tonight is the night, is the night we set it on. So everybody go. Everybody go. I'm feeling better than I ever thought. It's possible, but now I know. Yeah, I'm feeling better than I ever did. Impossible don't exist. No, impossible don't exist. So everybody go.
Of course, that's much better at storytelling, I think, than I am. So just remember that, right? Think about the consumer. Think about how you tell them a story. Think about how you showcase your product or your service. And I appreciate there's probably a really broad range of budgets in the room, right? Some guys are thinking that looks really expensive. Some guys are thinking, yeah, I should really do that. But you think if you can produce a video relatively cheaply but good quality, you can seed it out on YouTube, you can put it out through blog sites, you can push it out, and that really is the best way to showcase your product. And the last consideration, I guess, is that the days of Angry Birds being a hit or Paper Toss being a hit on the App Store are really starting to trim down. There was Flappy Birds, I think that was back in the last year or early this year, but there really aren't many of those coming around, and we're starting to move, if we're not careful, into a bit of a two-tier market, particularly in the gaming sector, where if you spend $1 million or $2 million developing these titles, in my opinion, you should spend $20 to $30 million promoting them, right? 10x your investment in the product to promote the service. You wouldn't dream of producing a car and then just putting it out in showrooms and hoping it sells itself. So think about the principles, right? Who's my customer? What message do I need to give to them, and how do I influence that positive behavior? So hopefully that was useful and some provocative thought. We're at Colony and we're going to buy you lots of drinks. We're paying on a fixed price as well. It's not per drink. So I recommend you take advantage of that and drink as much as you possibly can. Responsibly, obviously.